Welcome back to Morning Joy, where truth matters. I'm your host, Keith Downey, and today on The Next Right Thing with Debbie Georgianni and Adam Bly, this morning we're tackling a challenge that may hit close to home for you. If we profess Christ, do our actions, especially our respect for civil and moral law, prove it? We'll find out here. Good morning, Debbie and Adam.
Good morning, Keith. Thank you so much for allowing us this time for Adam and I to talk about this on The Next Right Thing. This actually just happened to me yesterday after Morning Joy's airing. And it was so beautiful outside in Arizona early in the morning, Adam. And it was just such a perfect time to go to our wonderful brand new park that all of us, you know, with our tax-paying money, help to build, and it's just something that the community can come together and have a beautiful lake. You know, we don't have a lot of water resources in Arizona, so when you have a nice lake and you know there's fishing and there's kids on with all of their equipment to climb and to swing and the sandboxes, it's just so beautiful. And then there was this young Christian man. The reason why I know he's Christian is he was wearing an identifying cross. Okay, so he was Christian. If he's going to wear a cross, I don't think it was jewelry. And he had two gigantic dogs with him, unleashed, running around the park and really causing havoc, to the point where the park ranger said that last week he was almost attacked by one of the dogs. So I just don't get it. I don't understand it. It was a horrible experience. I couldn't wait to get back in my car. I was very disappointed, and I'm thinking this is what our we're paying money for, for somebody to feel like they own the park, and then they're going to have a Christian symbol representing that, that they are a follower of Christ. And yet, they're not really being courteous or kind to anyone. And then I started thinking, it actually dawned on me. I was thinking about like Keith, and Keith is a father of young girls. And I'm thinking, what if he was at the park to go play with let his girls go swing and jump on things. And then these dogs come out of nowhere. And then this guy has no control over these animals. And it just, and I love dogs. Don't get me wrong. I love them. And I've had pets, but this is ridiculous. I mean, and then to say, to actually have a Christian, symbol that shows that you're a person that is supposed to be loving of others and caring and, obey the rules and, follow things properly. I mean, obviously he just feels like, you know what, I'm paying money for this park too, and I want my dogs to run free, and, tough luck for the rest of you. I have to get it off my chest because it bothers me greatly, and I see a lot of it, actually, a lot, where people will wear Christian symbols or have Christian symbols on their car, and they don't act very Christian, and I don't get it. I guess the best thing I could say is take off the exterior, Christian symbol. Then, if you're not gonna walk the walk and talk the talk, what do you say, Adam?
Yeah, I mean, this is. So many things in Scripture touch on this idea. So, that number one, of course, the golden rule, love your neighbor as yourself, treat other people as you want to be treated. And that golden rule appears in, I'm pretty sure, I looked into this once, pretty sure every world religion. It's such a common sense, basic idea to treat others as you would want to be treated. So, there's that. That's obviously, he's not, thinking or feeling that way. And then the idea that all of our behavior, of course, is known to God, right? Mm-hmm. That we should behave in a way that would be pleasing to God at all times, including when we're in public like that.
Right.
And then there's ideas of charity, there's ideas of hospitality. He doesn't own that park, but, he's there and you're kind of greeting other people that might be sharing the space with you, and you say hi to people. There's an element of charity and hospitality there. There's so many Christian principles that apply, but the deep one that is so important is what you said, like you're representing Christ, you're representing Christianity when you're in public and you put out a symbol like that. So you need to like kind of be cognizant of the fact that you're representing Christ, you're representing Christianity, because every moment in life that you're visible in any way, you're evangelizing either for the good or you're discouraging people in their relationship with Christ.
Mm-hmm.
If you're out there known as a Christian or holding out Christian symbols, you're either increasing people's curiosity and potential love of Christ, or you're increasing maybe the bitterness of, oh, Christians are two-faced and, you know, look at how mean this person is being.
Right.
You're part of something bigger than yourself is what I'm getting at.
But you know what really disturbs me? Maybe I'm assuming this, and maybe I'm way off. And help me with this, Adam. And if Morning Joy listeners, you know, comment in the chat section of the social media platforms. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. Maybe I'm wrong about this, but when you see that somebody is a Christian by something they're wearing, a cross, a crucifix, something they have on their car, you know, I even seen Catholic radio bumper stickers on people's cars, and you know, so you go, okay, they're a Christian, they're obviously involved in their faith, and you see them acting in a way that is so irresponsible. I mean, I guess I just assume that a Christian, and maybe I'm way off, a Christian would be thinking about others. Like this particular thing of having his dogs, two big, gigantic dogs, off their leash, 50 to 75, you know, feet away from him, so he can't control them. I mean, what if, God forbid, a child was mauled? What if, God forbid, a child was hurt? Is he going to feel bad about it, or is he gonna blame everybody else? You know, well, you know, my dogs, I don't know what happened. My dogs are friendly, because everybody thinks their dogs are friendly until they attack. Mm-hmm. You know, I mean, it's just the way it is. And I just don't understand it. You would think that as a Christian, it is professed in our churches, whether you go to the Catholic Church or you go to an evangelical, you know, Protestant church, a non-denominational Christian church, it's professed all the time. Love of neighbor, you know, take care of neighbor, you know, really worry about the person beside you. It is preached all the time, Adam. So what in this, and this, that you could tell this man was very, you know, he was very, well put together. He drove. I'm not trying to label him, but we knew what car he was driving, because when he drove away from the park, everybody was watching it. He drove one of those brand new Teslas, the $85,000 Tesla, the big one that looks like a tank. Okay, so clearly he's doing well in life. I mean, that's a very expensive car. I don't know about you, Adam, but I can't afford that car. No. Mm-hmm. And so, I mean, so he's somebody who's got means. He's, you know, obviously he's probably working and in business or whatever. And I don't understand it. I mean, clearly he just is thinking of self. It's, you know, I feel like going out for a run. I feel like, you know, having this park and letting my dogs run free, and I could care less about anyone else. To me, that sends a signal, and it makes people, you know, watch Christianity from the outside and go, well, why would I be Christian? Like, what's Christian about that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and, you know, it makes me think of that in John 13, 34 and 35, when Jesus says, I give you a new commandment. Love one another as I have loved you, so you also should love one another. This is how all will know that you are my disciples, if you have love for one another. So, I mean, I guess, you know, the other thought is, of course, everybody's
can I stop you right there?
Yeah.
Tim's going to open up the phone lines, because we think we're hitting a hot button with people. So people's going to open up the phone lines. If you want to weigh in on this, tell me if I'm right, wrong, you know, what you think about this. 877-757-9424. 877-757-9424. Okay, Adam, please continue.
Oh, just that, you know, that's exactly what Jesus says. Number one, love one another is his new commandment. And that's how people will know that we're his disciples. So I guess, and what I was going to say, Deb, is the other thought is, of course, people are all at different points in their journey, right? Mm-hmm. When we're younger, we tend to be a little more kind of selfish and not aware of others. and maybe you go through a phase in life like that. But what you're talking about is pretty egregious. Like, it's not just a little bit insensitive. It's, bordering on criminal, because there's a rule there, and then if somebody got hurt, it would cross over into, criminal negligence of some kind.
Right.
Especially if somebody a child got seriously hurt, that kind of thing. So, you don't even have to say like, oh, that was a little insensitive. Like, it's bordering on illegal, possibly, at least a misdemeanor kind of thing, if there's rules there. I'm curious, did the park ranger that you saw there, did they try to intervene and stop the person?
They've talked to him multiple times, and I don't understand why he's not banned from the park. I don't get it. He just doesn't care. He's going to do what he wants to do. Yeah, he just has this really I don't know. But I will say one thing for him. Okay, the gentleman, and he's not like young. If I assessed how old he was, I would say he's in his 40s. I will say this: the dogs did their business, and he did pick up after the dogs in the park. So he did do that, which was a kind, courteous thing, right? So that was good. But the dogs were off a leash. Okay, we're getting calls now, Adam.
Okay.
Let's see how we're doing on time. Maybe real quickly, let's say hi to Sister Patty from San Antonio. Sister Patty, you're on the air, but we may have to hold you through the break.
Okay, that's fine. I understand what you're saying, but for me, I don't judge someone by what one action to have that define them, because as a religious, there are times where people will see me and I might be angry and like, oh, she's terrible, I'll never be a Catholic, and I'm human and I do make mistakes.
Well, that's a good point, sister. I agree with you, and I feel the same way. I've been angry in public, but I do have to ask you this, sister. If you knew the park rules were to leash your dogs, would you have your dogs on a leash, or would you just say, well, I don't care what anybody thinks, I'm just going to let them roam free?
I'm one who's considerate of things like that, so I would have my dogs on a leash.
Yeah.
But
no, I see what you're saying.
Just to love and bless that person and pray for, whatever it is that's causing you to act this way, may God heal it in you.
Oh, yeah, for sure, sister. I think part of what Deb was reacting to is this person's been told by the ranger that's in charge of that park multiple times to stop doing this, and they're just kind of flouting the law.
Right. Well, sister, if you can hold, and Adam, we'll put a pin in it. Keith, we'll turn it over to you.
Yep. Hey, stay tuned. We're going to continue this conversation right after this quick little break right here on Morning Joy, where truth matters.
You're listening to Morning Joy, where truth matters.
Welcome back to Morning Joy, where truth matters. I'm your host, Keith Downey, and on the continuation of The Next Right Thing with Debbie Georgianni and Adam Bly, talking about, well, my goodness, walking the walk and talking the talk of our Christian faith, I guess. We're going to go ahead and bring back Debbie and, of course, Sister Patty. But Debbie, take it away.
Thank you so much, Keith. And Sister Patty, you'll be so proud of me. You may have been talking to Tim when you were getting ready to be on air with us. I did compliment this gentleman. He did pick up after his dogs, so it does show that he has that courteous side to him. I think the thing that just struck me so odd is this idea that the authorities have told him, and he just doesn't seem to be. And it's such a preventable thing, and that's what bothers me is if a child gets hurt. I mean, he had a ton of time to make adjustments, change his routine, do whatever, and that's I think what bothers me the most. I mean, if I get hurt, sister, I'm going to be 60 this year. I've lived a good life, but I wouldn't want to see a little 3 or 4 year old get hurt or something like that. When mauling of a dog, from a dog is very. I mean, it's just brutal. We just had one happen 2 days ago in the town next to where I live. I should say, I'm sorry, last week in the town next to where I live. But Sister Patty, any more comments on that? But I agree with you. We can't judge a person just by their public appearance in certain situations, because that's just a snapshot of their whole entire life. But actually, Sister Patty, I want to give you final comments. I want to just give the number again and let Adam comment, because he got cut off because of the break. 877-757-9424 is the way to weigh in on this topic. Adam, any final comments?
Oh, I was just, I totally hear, Sister. And of course, we need to be charitable. I guess what I'm saying is the person was told before, and it's just making a bad impression. So, and then if it crosses the line into actual, like somebody getting hurt, then clearly, the person's in the wrong. But I guess when our conscience has been informed and we've been told something's against the rules, I think it's worse than just being careless, I guess. What do you think?
Yeah, what do you think, Sister?
I think that there's a wound in that guy's ego that has not been addressed, and to be confronted in that way, it's really causing him some pain. I don't, because I don't know the rest of his life, there might be something associated with it. My dad was in the military. I grew up in a very strict family. When someone tells me to do something, I kind of want to fight back.
Okay.
For me, I would be praying a lot for him, for his healing, because there's something, if he's conscientious in some things, but there's this one thing about the dogs and not being told what to do with them, that I can see that there's a wound there that, he hasn't addressed. He hasn't maybe, he doesn't have the strength to address it or something.
Yeah.
So it's definitely a guy in need of prayer.
Sister, you are amazing. That's why we love you.
And I love your show. And I'm past 60, so.
Well, you don't sound it, Sister. You sound fantastic.
Sorry.
Oh, well, God bless you. Thank you for weighing in on this. And yes, you know what, Sister? I'm gonna tuck him into my rosary. So thank you. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for calling, Sister.
Yeah, that'll be the next right thing. Wow. Okay, so let's go to Timoteo, and we've got Justin right after Timoteo. We're going to have to go quickly. Timoteo from Findlay, Ohio, wants to weigh in on this topic. Go ahead, Tim.
I'll make it quick because it's just a simple thing. Yes, I had a similar experience working in retail. But basically, if you wear, you can wear a cross, but can you bear the cross?
Wow. What do you say, Adam?
Yeah, I mean, that's interesting. So what are you getting at, Tim? What do you mean by that?
In other words, I mean, you can wear a cross, show it off, but when you actually have a cross to bear, can you do that?
Oh, I see.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
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 Wow.
Yeah. I mean, right. So the idea of the cross, at least in terms of suffering, right, is to bear it and accept the will of God. Of course, do what's appropriate to alleviate suffering and take advantage of medicine, et cetera, et cetera. But we also need to be accepting of the will of God, and there is always going to be a cross in life. We know that. And to bear it well. So maybe what you're getting at is this person, it certainly does have a wound. There's a reason they're being a little bit callous to people, and maybe working through that so that whatever that wound is, whatever that cross is, isn't turning into lashing out at other people.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And, trust me, recently, this past fall, I've experienced that.
Oh, I'm sure if you're in retail, you always get to.
I'm no longer in retail.
Okay.
I'm talking about I dealt with cancer recently.
Oh, yeah. Sorry to hear that.
Well, Tim, we're always lifting you up in prayer, and thank you so much for being such a loyal a listener and family member of Take Two, The Spirit World, Morning Joy, The Quest. You're amazing, Timoteo. Thank you so much for weighing in on this topic. Okay, we have time for Justin in Illinois on our friends at Catholic Spirit Radio. Hi, Justin. Welcome.
Hello. Thank you for putting me on the air. First time ever calling on a radio station, so forgive me for nervousness. But my deal of looking at it is we have fallen away from the Catholic teaching of animals and what they're supposed to be in our life. That we put animals up on a pedestal with human beings, with how we spoil the animals, how we treat the animals. Yes, animals are a good thing in the light of what God has given as creatures to us, but we just let them do whatever they want because people have put them in place of human beings, of children in their family, and they allow them to do whatever they want because they feel that that's respect to the animal. So what do you think?
Well, Justin, I have to tell you, after this happened to me yesterday morning after Morning Joy, I had no one to talk to, so I was getting ready for Take Two with Jerry and Debbie, and I talked it over with the show team, and that's exactly what the show team said, that our priorities are and our focus is all off. You know, what is more important, the human being, this, you know, to take care of another soul. You know, I love pets. I was crazy about my two dogs. One lived 16 years, one lived 14 years. I loved them, but they were still my pets. They weren't human beings. And I totally agree with you, Justin. Something is wrong when we put these you know, wonderful animals ahead of human beings. What do you say, Adam?
Yeah, I mean, I've seen that, and I've heard that from different people, you know, that we kind of anthropomorphize and use pets as a placeholder for children, and people will often shift once they have actual children, and you know, so we have these kind of like maternal and paternal instincts that get linked to the animals, and I guess it's okay as long as it doesn't go overboard until the person has kids. But yeah, you know, the order of things, like we are a lesser order of creature than the angels. The animals are a lesser order of creature because they're not a rational creature. They clearly have emotions, and they do think to some extent, but they're not a rational creature like we are. So I love animals too. And, you know, I've had some cats in my life that I was very, very attached to, and I still think about. So I totally get it. But yeah. I hear what he's saying.
Yep. Thanks, Justin. You're awesome. And thanks for listening on Catholic Spirit Radio. We appreciate it. And we hope you call us again. It was a great call. Thank you. Okay, Adam, that'll do it. I think we got everybody's blood pressure sky high. So we'll send it back to Keith for the rest of Morning Joy.
Great. Thank you so much, Debbie. No, that was great. And thank you so much, Sister Patty, Timoteo, and Justin for calling in. That was really great calls and insight. For those out there wanting more Debbie and Adam, make sure to tune into The Spirit World. It's every Saturday morning at 10 a.m. Central, 11 a.m. Central, right here, wherever you're listening or streaming from. This week is a very fun show. It's a mailbag episode. They're going to be answering questions about TV mediums, psychic Olympics, hypnosis shows and therapy, and so much more. There's a long list I don't have time to go through, but so yeah, that's 10 a.m. Central, 11 a.m. Eastern, Saturday. But coming up next, we've got Sissel. She's going to be tackling Protestant evangelist Johnny Chang's startling claim that believers should stop praying the Lord's Prayer. Wow. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
You're listening to Morning Joy, where truth matters.